Welcome to Deep Thought. You can't always show your intelligence. I'm gonna tell you one of the sad things out here. You can be highly intelligent, and when I say intelligent, not just in your knowledge that you have of different things, not just in what you know out here, but even being able to intelligently solve different problems. You can't always show it. You can't always show it because unfortunately, and you could blame this on the days or it could be just natural phenomena. Most people, they just wanted the basics. I touched on this in the last episode. They just want to know, how can they work? How can they have a place to sleep? How can they eat, clothe themselves, and have sex every now and then? And there's plenty, if you really look at a lot of people, the masses of people, that's all they want. That's all they want. They don't want to know like anything beyond that. They want to stick in their day-to-day life. Indeed, it's been said that many people, they won't read a book once they graduate high school. And the books they read there might have been for class, and even then, nowadays, they might not have read that. They don't want to increase their knowledge. They just get to a certain point where they just to get through life. Just to get through life. They stay at a basic level. But sometimes if you have someone who's truly intelligent, truly learning, sometimes people don't like that. And which is scary to me. And they can't show it. They'll be like, well, who he or she think they are? Showing how smart they are. And they'll try to break them down. Shoot. Sometimes you'll see that on some place like YouTube. You'll have somebody very giving some information. Like I was watching a video and this young man was presenting some very good information. And of course somebody's going to get on there and try to challenge them on it. So, well, you should have did this, you should have did that. It was like, hold up. I mean, this is good enough. Why don't you do that yourself? You know, people try to challenge it, or they try to say, well, you're not that smart. But they doing it for themselves. They doing it for themselves because maybe they don't know. Because you'll have somebody, they projecting their own, I would say, lack of intelligence. I ain't gonna say stupidity, but their own what they don't know. Or they get mad this person is showing that they know something. And I ain't talking, and that's a whole other video where I talk about somebody trying to lord it over somebody. But just talking about people getting mad when somebody show that they more intelligent, they know more. Shoot, I've seen that in my own family. I've seen that in my own family. Shoot, some of y'all might have gone through it. You might have shown that you know more or had a better vocabulary. And not just with myself. I remember my cousin said something. One of my cousins said something, and I would say he used all he said was perhaps. And some other family members didn't like it. It was like, and my cousin's very highly intelligent. And all he used was one word, but they had a problem with it. It was like, no, you just go with it. Just go with it. See, sometimes people are better, or they can deal with it better if you just go with the flow, or at least in front of them. You can't always show it. In fact, that's been said. I've seen some stuff written down and have heard if people have that high intellect, they can't always share it with people. If they're around certain people, they can't always share it. They can't talk about certain things. They can't talk about the knowledge they have or share the knowledge they have or the perspective they have. Because the other person might just be like, well, who are you? It's like, and really all it is they don't know it. See, if someone like me, if someone were to share some knowledge I don't know with me, I would like, oh, okay. All right. I would ask questions. I would ask what I can learn more. But sometimes if that same person was around somebody else, they might get mad. That could even happen in school. That can happen in school. In fact, I'll share something about me too. I remember when I started a new school when I was in the 5th grade. And I had other students, they were mad at me because I was just smart. I knew some stuff. They were coming after me, trying to pick with me. And I was just like, wait a minute. This is what I know. And I was able to win them over at some point. I was able to win them over, but why? Why? People are jealous. They jealous. They didn't go further. And then you could put this on like I say, you can put this on the days, or you can just put it on the person themselves. They don't want to go any further. They get uncomfortable when somebody else shows their intelligence. So you might be that very intelligent person, but you might have found certain things you can't talk about when you at the cookout with Uncle Junior and them. Notice I said Uncle Junior and them. Sometimes you can't show everything you know. Sometimes it makes them feel uncomfortable. In fact, there's been a lot of I've read that about high IQ people. They can't always show what they know. They will tend to be quiet. And really it does come down to other people being uncomfortable with it. And it's really a shame, because when somebody knows something, when somebody has a higher intelligence, they can solve problems. They have knowledge of different things that they can use to increase it. Like, say somebody is really intelligent with how to make money. That's an intelligence, a financial IQ. They can actually help many people. They can help it. That person doesn't have to necessarily be poor or struggling. I mean, it's just a simple thing of saying, hey, instead of start saving some money, start putting some extra money into maybe some investments that can make you some money. Something that simple can help anybody. In fact, it should be taught in school, to be honest. But that's another conversation. But sometimes it can be a problem. It's a shame too. It's a shame. Because when somebody has that level of talent, one of the things that they can do is help others by sharing that talent. By sharing that talent. And indeed, I would say everybody, even somebody who might look plain, has some knowledge of something that they can share. I mentioned before, I don't know if it was on this channel or one of my other channels, I'm saying so much, when I knew this guy and he would get distressed houses and fix them up. And he had somebody who would go into these houses and clean them up. And he listened to you could tell the guy who was getting the houses, more intelligent, a millionaire. But one of the things was he still listened to this guy whose job was to clean up, because this guy could really tell him how to clean these houses. That's very important. So everybody always has it. But it's a shame that people can't always show it. It's a shame. Something to think about. Something, you know how I do on this channel. Sometimes I'll share something for you just to think about. All right? So anyway, that's all I have for today. Think on this, and I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.